Back.
Hey,
Hi,
hey.
everybody. Welcome to OverReaction Monday. I'm Zach. That's George. Uh,
Yes.
I'm still taking over. One of these days, I'm going to get this intro thing down. Still not quite used to it. I guess that's George and I'm Zach. Sounds a bit better? I don't know. Oh, one of my
Yeah.
lights just went out. Oh, that's not good.
Wait. What happened?
One of my lights went out. I think
One of
I
your.
got it. That's scary. I don't know
No.
why. All right. Well, anyways, let's talk about some weekend games because everybody on the desk was, oh man, Liquid's gonna 3-0 this. Oh man, Liquid's gonna just totally run over Clutch. They gave all they had against TSM. They're
Yeah.
done. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nah.
Suck it, all of you experts.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
We
the
may have been wrong.
all the 3-0 experts out there, and I'm talking about some big names. Suck it. Because
Here we go
that.
again, insulting
So,
any
no.
sort of viewership we've got. Thanks.
No. I'm being honest. Here. So no, it was pretty amazing. Sorry, my phone all of a sudden is blowing up. I think Garth Brooks may be coming to Houston.
Well, come on. We got more important things to talk about. Clutch Gaming is going to Worlds.
I know. Anyway,
Well, I
let
mean,
me.
technically not yet, but they're on track.
You know what they are? They are on track.
Come on.
Anyway,
phone's down.
my phone is blowing up. I have a real job, you understand,
No,
and that
this
is
is your real job, obviously.
radio. And if Garth Brooks is coming to Houston, then that's a pretty big deal. No, let's talk about it. Yesterday, actually, it's really interesting because this is one of the first times, and Zach knows this about me. I am a hyper fan. Okay, so when I'm watching college basketball or when I'm watching college football, my two favorite sports, third being NFL. If I'm watching that, I get really hyper. I get chills. I'm so nervous. And then it happened last night for the first time with me that during a game and during 3, 4, and 5, I was out of my mind, hyper over the games. And Zach, I got to be honest, I had trouble sleeping last night. I don't know about you. I kept replaying 5 over and over and over, and the things that went on from the draft on. And I know you got the analysis. I'm not that guy. But I really had trouble sleeping, and it was so funny because it was just in my head about how close they were.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, this is Team Liquid has not been pushed like this before since MSI, really. I mean, sure, you could say the Rift Rivals competitions and a lot of the Europeans were really putting them to the test and putting them through their paces. But, I mean, North America has not really challenged Liquid like this before, especially not a best of 5. I mean, nobody has gone this far except TSM at their peak, and then that TSM fell apart because they tilted off the face of the earth. So
yeah, they sure.
It's
let me ask you
really
this.
impressive.
What did you think? I thought, and I know it's kind of his persona, but Double Lift after the game kind of threw a little shade at Clutch about, well, we weren't really that engaged in game 3, and I don't know. Did it bother you at all? His shade, or we just expect that from him every time?
I turned it off. I didn't even. As soon as Clutch was done, I listened to a little bit of the analysis. But as soon as they went to the interviews, I was like, I don't need to hear this.
That's me too. That's the other thing I do. I want to see all the post games. I always watch Super Bowl post game. I always watch the college basketball. I'll find it on some weird ESPN Ocho or whatever. To watch the post-game conference with the coaches. That's me, and maybe that's why I couldn't go to sleep last night. But yeah, I thought a little bit of shade. Anybody watching, if you got a different idea on that, or if that's just Double Lift and I should leave it alone, whatever, just let me know. But I thought that was unnecessary after a tough win.
That's kind of Double Lift, though. Just play it off like, oh, no, nothing's wrong. We definitely didn't get pushed to our limit there. We definitely didn't have to play one of the most broken picks that we have that nobody ever lets us have in Game 5. No, of course. Right. You know, we didn't have to hate ourselves in order to playing Sona Tarek. No. Definitely not. No.
Hey, So talk to me about Sonataric, because you and I talked right before Game 5. We were on the phone with each other. You're in Louisville. I'm in Houston, where Clutch Gaming is based right now. And I was asking you, okay, talk me through this, walk me through, because I'm still learning this. And Zach, everything that you said in the pregame, every concern, everything that you were worried about, is kind of what happened, isn't it?
It really is. Clutch was a team that had consistent damage sources. They didn't have burst, and that's really the only way you can fight Sonataric is with burst or with a lot of crowd control. And they had Sejuani, and that was basically it in terms of crowd control.
Pretty much it, yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna say that the draft from Game 5 was the only weird one that I saw. But honestly, Sonataric should not exist. I'm fine with other alternative bot laners. I'm fine with mages.
Wait,
sometimes fine with assassins, but Sonataric should not exist.
Wasn't I the one that was saying Akali should be banned and shouldn't exist earlier today?
I mean, yeah, Akali was also a problem, but
maybe we're the they shouldn't exist brothers or whatever. So
you have played exactly one game against Akali, and lo and behold, Jensen plays Akali like that person played Akali. So I understand. I'll give it to you.
I was left with a little PTSD on that, but yeah.
Yeah, aren't we all? Anybody who plays against a Fed Akali.
So let's talk about Game 5. Would you have rather them gotten Akali, or did they have to ban that out and just take what they got?
I think they had to ban out the Akali. I'm not sure why they had to ban out the Xayah there. That's the one thing that I'm going to be scratching my head about for a while. I'm not seeing this crazy crazy Xayah priority from Doublelift, really. I know he's good at it. I know Core JJ is good at Rakan, but I really don't see what the big scare was, because I think Cody-san has been able to match that with other hyper-scaling AD carries. Maybe not with the Caitlyn like Doublelift showed, but he has been able to match it with other picks. So I don't know. I'm not sure why Xayah was scarier than Sona, but I'm going to be saying that was the wrong choice there, because the results oriented, but it does seem like that was the scarier pick.
Hindsight is 2020, and obviously we look back and go, well, would have been better to go the other way. But can we just talk about how incredibly proud it made me to be a Clutch Dignitas fan yesterday? Oh,
absolutely. My God. Dude, here's the thing. I was surprised you had trouble sleeping. I slept fine. See, here's the thing. Like, I was very, very sad, not at all disappointed. I was very sad for the team.
That's an interesting. So talk to me a little bit about that. I like the way you put that. You were sad, but not disappointed. Why?
They did what I thought they would. They pushed Liquid to Game 5. And this is a team that I have had more faith in than any other iteration of Clutch. Seeing their progress and seeing them come up as all of these other analysts are working off their bias. And it's like, I understand biases are there for a reason, and historically Clutch has not been the best team. And, right now they're not the best team. But this is a team on the rise that everyone was ignoring. And it made me feel really, really good when I said, no. These guys are going to push Liquid to Game 5. They're going to win it. And that's where I was wrong. But I'm fine with you pushing them to Game 5. That we've been asking all split for them to show us something. They showed us. Yeah. They showed us.
That's a really, really good point, sir, because we did ask. We said, hey, show us something. And they really did. By the way, Hunter, who works for the Houston Rockets, said, tell Zach he nailed it except for the win.
So yeah. Very close.
He was like, first of all, Clutch gave such a good fight. And tell Zach he did a great job on the analysis. He was so right on with what he thought would happen. So thanks, Hunter, by the way, for the text. We appreciate you watching along here. If you have a comment, you can drop it in the chat room there. We're happy to answer any questions. If you have a thought, if you thought something went down a little bit weird, something that we haven't talked about, we'd love to hear from you, because this is kind of our recovery day. All right. We need to talk this out. We need to talk about it a little bit because here's the other great thing, Zach. Games aren't over yet.
No, we're not at all. Yeah, we get to see them this weekend against CLG, and then we're going to get to see them in the Gauntlet regardless. They've got enough championship points just off this run to make the Gauntlet. So They are in a great spot to go to Worlds. They've already beat TSM. If they show us that they can beat CLG, who else is going to challenge them? FlyQuest? At the bottom of the barrel? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly. And I've seen a couple of notes on Twitter. One person said to me, look, I'm really hoping that Clutch can make Worlds. I know TSM and CLG, not to give them any discredit, but they can't make a splash at Worlds. And Clutch can. Absolutely can. They're much like Vitality were last year, and I saw people saying that as well.
Yeah. I saw a couple of the tweets that came into us today, which, by the way, we love getting tweets about this stuff. Jason, thank you for your comments. We appreciate that. Nick, in your comments on Twitter, I'm just looking at some of the things that have come into us, people talking about it. And again, so many people saying, you know what? I love this, by the way, from Dignitas leader Michael Prindeville, who said, pain as motivation. Mm-hmm. It's lift us in the gauntlet and onto Worlds. The story is far from over.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, Liquid. Incredible stuff. But Huni, Lyra, Demonte, Cody Sun, Vulcan, Think Card, Artemis, on to the next thing. So I love that.
No, and it's absolutely not over. There's no way it's over. I mean, Huni historically has struggled to get into finals. I know how much that hurt to lose yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Did that not kill you when you saw him at the end there? I was like, Huni, come on, I love you, man. Stop it, you're killing me.
Yeah. No, that was tough to see, but great to see. You can tell how much he cares. You really can. Yeah. And how much Demonte cares about him, too. And I think that's something that in spring you saw a lot of disappointment. You saw a lot of frustration, but you didn't see as much camaraderie as you see now. You know, you admittedly, Huni and Demonte have always been very close and have gotten even closer from what I know, but you just didn't see that kind of interaction or that kind of emotion from them in spring. You know?
Yeah, go ahead. By the way, if I'm going to jump in here real quick. If you're looking for something to read about this Clutch turnaround, Dot Esports, and we retweeted this, so you'll find us. You'll find it on the Twitter feed at League_Leaders1. The Dot Esports article about the influence that Dignitas has had on this team the last 6 weeks of the season. And I love it. Said it turned on one question, and that was, do you guys actually want to win? And we saw the answer yesterday. Yes, they do. And I think that's been the biggest change for them. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. All right. So I need a moment.
You need a moment?
All right. We touched on it a little bit. But Sona Tarek, a friend of mine, texted me in the middle of Game 5 as Clutch was kind of starting to fall a little bit behind. Right. And I got to give it to you, K-Hall. He was right. Clutch did not lose to Team Liquid. They lost to Game Design. Sona Tarek is an exploitative strategy that should not exist in this game. No other combination of two supports can coexist like that. It does not work. Because I looked it up afterwards. This is what I spent my night doing. This is why I went to bed.
This is why you would go to sleep. Yeah.
I looked up the patch notes for this whole year. All right. And I looked up when they changed Sona. If they changed Sona. You know when they did? End of June. Once. This has been going on since May. And they touched her once at the end of June. That's it. That's all that they did. And you know what they did? They reduced her speed boost. They reduced her damage buff to her allies by less than 10%. They reduced the AP ratio, the ability power ratio, by 10%. It went from 0.3 to 0.2. That's all that they did. They made the movement speed, they cut it in half. That's all they did. They did not touch the problematic healing. They did not touch her damage output. I don't get it. I don't know why this strategy has fallen out of favor if she's still this strong. And only Liquid seems to be playing it, which is even stranger.
Here's the thing that got me yesterday. Double Lift was playing Sona, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So every time Clutch, and obviously this is what you want him to do, but if you're a Team Liquid, but it's like every time that healing stuff, man, it's like,
it's ridiculous.
It is. And again, I hate to be that fan. I hate to be the one going,
no, don't.
Right, it's the game's fault. It's the game's fault. Man.
This is why Yumi is banned so often. This is why that champion's gone, because her healing is so absurd. There's so many healing boosts from items in game that it doesn't matter how strong your base heal is. It matters that you stack those items up and get a bunch of ability power to boost it. And both Sona and Targ can build those items, which is why the healing factor is so ridiculous. And when it comes down to it, man, it's an exploit. They have nerfed the ability for supports to go top lane. We saw Huni try that in spring. The week after the patch came out, it was nerfed. You can't do it anymore. We used to see people running supports in mid lane with a very similar strategy, except they were funneling to their jungler. They're saying, this is an exploit. That's not allowed. Sona Tark still exists. That's all I'm saying, is that they're allowing this exploit to continue in bot lane, and they're not allowing it to continue anywhere else. And I think that's a problem. That's a super big problem.
Answer it. Come on. Why is this allowed to exist? So
I don't see the healthy play pattern from it. I don't get it.
Is it going to be worse if they change it in the next? Well, it's not really going to matter, though, is it? This late in the season.
They're not changing the patches for playoffs here. There can be some nerfs before Worlds. We can avoid seeing it at Worlds, or it'll just be permabanned against Team Liquid because nobody's going to let them have it.
Better or worse if they do it before Worlds?
Better. The sooner the better. Next patch is better.
I don't know. I kind of want if they beat us that way, I want them to be able to beat other people that way too. So
anyway, we're going to come back with the vengeance, and we're going to beat them in the next quarterfinals.
There we
go. Beat them in Worlds quarterfinals.
Get all fired up. Now, what gets you fired up? You drop a comment in the chat section, and we'll answer you. Okay. Talk to me real quick about the other game. I know that's not our focus. Obviously, we're not fans of that team. We don't follow those teams, but it was a pretty lopsided game on the other side. And here's an interesting theory. I saw somebody say that that Clutch and Cloud9 play styles similar to each other. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why they picked Clutch to play in the first round, is to get used to that aggressive early game style that they thought they would see and will see now with Cloud9. What do you think of that theory?
I think that's really interesting. I can definitely see where they're coming from. I think that it's a couple different kinds of aggression. I think that you see a lot more from mid lane for Cloud9, and we see a lot more from top lane for Clutch here. Huni and Lyra are a great duo. Niski and Svenskeren are a great duo together. So it's just different places that you're seeing that aggression. And both of our bot lanes do play the weak side most of the time, but when they get attention, they can absolutely pop off too. So it's really interesting to me to think that way, because I'm 90% sure that Liquid was thinking like every other analyst, and oh no, Clutch is just weak. TSM sucks, but Clutch is really weak, so we can just beat him.
I don't know. I kind of liked it, and it would give me a little more respect for Team Liquid if they went that deep into it. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. They struggled against that early pressure because they really hadn't seen that much this year at all. So if they went that deep, you have my respect, first of all. For sure. And second of all, I think it did help them because now they have those VODs to go back and look at, and they can start scrimming that way now for Cloud9 after having some actual in-game experience with that early pressure. So that was the way. You got my respect, Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take the high road and think good about it, then you go right ahead, man. This is going to be weird because you're being the more positive one about this, and I'm like, nah, they just thought we sucked, and they were wrong.
You know what? It did make me wonder. It's like, is it just a flat out, well, they were the 4th seed or whatever, that's why we picked them. They were the lower seed. They had the worst season. But the way Clutch was playing at the end, I can see a little bit, I kind of buy into that theory a little bit, that maybe they were looking at it as, I don't want to call it a scrimmage game, because honestly, if they were thinking about it, I don't think they thought, Team Liquid thought it would be this hard to beat Clutch.
For sure.
So they got a little more than they bargained for, but did that prepare them better for next week than it would have if they'd played CLG?
I don't know. I really don't. I think that Clutch is certainly a more difficult opponent than CLG. I mean, you can just take a look at it. CLG.
Are we fanboying on that, or why do you think that?
You can take a look at the strength of the opponents. You can say that, Optic and TSM were obviously the worst two teams in playoffs, but Optic came in barely off a tiebreaker. TSM had a really strong start and started kind of slipping towards the end there and started struggling a bit more. And then they had a brand new jungler who also was under a ton of pressure to back up. So it really, there's a lot of things that kind of handicap TSM, but Optic, I'll still go on record in saying this, Optic should not have been in playoffs. I think 100 Thieves or Golden Guardians should have been in playoffs instead. I think both of those teams were better, but they didn't play that way on the day, and that's what got Optic there. So I still think that CLG kind of coasted, and they kind of got the super easiest route. I still say, 100 Thieves would have pushed them. Golden Guardians would have pushed CLG. It would have at least taken the first game from CLG. But you didn't see CLG have to work. They had to hold on and hold on and hold on because Optic could not close and Optic could not make the right plays. And then the other two games, they just won. No contest. Yeah. That was more of a scrimmage than any other playoff series we've seen.
All right, let's move now to this weekend. It's in Detroit. You're going to be there. I can't make it. I tried to work it out, but I can't make it. But you're going to be there representing league leaders. So that's going to be interesting stuff. Look forward to that. And that it may push back because of some of the travel that I'm doing elsewhere. It may push back our broadcast next week. Hopefully we'll be on at 7, but it might be 7:30 because my flight gets in at like 5:15. And by the time I get to the airport, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what kind of vibe you get up there. And if people would love to hit you up on Twitter or meet up with you or tell you where other folks are going to be hanging out, other fans, other teams are going to be hanging out. Tell them how to get in touch with you, Zach, when they're in Detroit.
Well, I mean, it's right here. You can just @ZLindsay01 on Twitter. Hit me up. Let me know if you have questions. I'm going to be trying to speak with as many people there as I possibly can. Send me your predictions. What do you think is going to happen in finals here? Because I don't think we're going to go over that matchup. We're going to be saving that for our audio podcast. But how do you think the finals are going to go? How do you think Clutch versus CLG is going to go? I know what I'm thinking, but what are you all thinking? Also, if you want to meet up, I sign autographs very poorly. I don't think you want it. Gonna be right up front with you. You don't want my autograph. It's illegible garbage. You don't want it. But yeah, no, I'd be happy to hang out and chat. I am going to be at the tailgate. There'll be some more information on that coming later on in the week from Dignitas and Clutch. So make sure you follow both of them on Twitter. If you're not already, then what are you doing? But yeah, I'm going to be there. It's going to be a great time. I'm super excited. It's going to be fantastic.
And like you said, we'll break down game action Clutch versus CLG on Thursday on our regular podcast. And we'll also break down then the championship game between the Team Liquid and Cloud9. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I really feel like Clutch gave them a wake-up call, and that get them rolling through this the finals on Sunday. So we'll see. Anything else, Zach? Anything you want to add? We appreciate, by the way, all the viewers. Thank you guys for jumping on board with us here. Yes. We have started a YouTube channel.
Yes.
What?
Finally.
I'm coming to 2020s here, 19 or whatever. So.
Welcome to 2008.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Probably. Anyway, we have started that, so we do appreciate you guys checking it out and subscribing. We'll put up a link on our Twitter feed, and you can.
Good luck finding us without that link, by the way, because turns out League Leaders much more popular titles on YouTube than on Twitter.
Unlike everything, it's League Leaders for soccer, League Leaders for hockey, So
it's like we picked a really good name or something.
Like popular name on YouTube, anyway. So we will pop up that link and let you guys know. But again, an amazing weekend.
Absolutely.
The only thing missing was the victory at the end. But like Zach, I love the way you put it. I'm sad, but I'm not disappointed.
Not at all.
And I love that. that you should put that on a T-shirt or something. I really do like the way that he explains it, because I was looking for a way to capture it, and it's that disappointment that I think, like I said, kept me awake last night. I just had trouble going to sleep because, man, it was right there. So
it was
yeah,
very close, but also pretty far. We got some stuff to learn from it.
Close, yeah, but going 2-2. I was pretty fired up going into that game 5. So, Zach, anything else as we wrap up here tonight? Thank you guys, everybody, for jumping on board with us. We appreciate it. Any feedback, we always love it. We're open to feedback. We're new. I'm new at this. Zach, I know is.
I'm not even more experienced than you. Come on, now.
I'm new at this, so if you have any suggestions, please let me know. And I use my hands a lot. I've noticed I use my hands a lot.
We both do. You can tell we're related. Wow.
Yeah,
whoa. Big surprise.
Fun. But we love doing and talking esports together. So
I just want to, since we're going to be a little bit weird coming back on Monday, me traveling from Detroit, you traveling from who knows where. I just want to say thank you, Clutch. Hooney, Lyra, DeMonte, Cody Sun, Vulcan, ThinkCard, Artemis, Dignitas, everybody behind him, thank you. This is a season where I am proud to be a fan. And I haven't been that way. Summer, I was not that proud to be a fan. First spring, breakout split, loved it. And then we fell off in summer. And then we just struggled so hard in spring. And this is the kind of excitement that makes it all worth it, that makes me just like, you got me. I'm here, I'm staying, and I love it. Thank you guys so much. And keep working hard. I know you guys can make worlds. I know it. Absolutely.
You know what? And 19 just put a heart up there. So, yeah, Zach, how do you make the
Stop trying. Stop trying. You're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah. Anyway, I do want to give a shout out. It's going to be a little odd here.
Okay.
And just because on a personal level, I like him so much. And that is McScraggs.
Absolutely.
He did a lot of work with these guys, and sometimes it didn't always show on the day of play. But he did a lot of work, and I feel like he laid some groundwork that Dignitas has put some structure to. They've put a method of playing, a style of play in for these guys that fits them. But McScraggs, I don't want to forget you, man, because I loved him, and I'm sorry he's not with the org anymore. I think he left, on as good a terms as you can leave. But I just want to give him a shout out because I think he did a lot of things with these guys. And then Dignitas came in, built that camaraderie, gave them a purpose, gave them a style of play, and boom, look what happened. So, all right,
fantastic stuff. Stay excited, everybody. It's going to be a really, really big weekend.
Yeah.
If you're coming in late, you missed any of this, the VOD will be live here on Twitch, and we'll get it up on our YouTube page as quickly as possible for you. So stay tuned.
Thank you. See you, Chief.